Thanks for joining us today. My name's Tom and this is Ileana, and we're the founders of the Spanish Cat.
Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, we met nearly 20 years ago in Mexico. And then upon returning in Australia, we opened the Spanish Cat in 2004. And since then, we have been so lucky to teach hundreds, thousands of students.
We're going to go over a few things in our presentation today, but one of the most important things that I think a lot of people ask is why learn Spanish? Now, Ileana, you're a Spanish teacher. What are the most common reasons that your students want to learn Spanish?
Reasons vary quite a lot. At the beginning, when we studied the Spanish Cat, it was mainly because people were traveling. But then over time, that seemed to change a little bit because the students coming back from the trips, they met partners, which I found beautiful, and they were so eager to be able to communicate with the families and go back to visit them. I think it gives them an opportunity to understand the culture of the partners. Another reason, believe it or not, is I love that one as well. There's a lot of people dancing, Spanish, obviously. Latin music, and they really wanted to understand the lyrics of the music to feel it more deeply. Friendships as well here in Australia, like Ileana, we need to understand each other better. So those are some of the reasons that our students approach us and ask for help.
Yeah, great. So basically, partners, they meet partners overseas,
yeah, that was really
or here in Australia. For dancing and for friendships. But what about for work? Do people...
Absolutely, that happened as well. They were getting prepared for jobs, like for a year. And we need to train them also for cross-cultural training. And many companies from Australia started migrating to Latin America or Spain. So our students were assigned these jobs they had to take over there for 2 or 3 years. So they really need to, like a crash course, to understand absolutely everything because they're going to be managing teams in Spanish. So that was quite a challenge, but we enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, there's so many reasons to learn Spanish. Spanish is spoken in over 20 different countries by over 550 million people in total. So, if you love traveling, then Spanish is definitely a fantastic language to have in your arsenal. And I know myself, I originally learned Spanish probably over 25 years ago now when I was traveling through Mexico and Latin America. And I ended up meeting so many people, so many friends. Met Ileana here, obviously, and I was working in Mexico for about probably 5 years in total, and living there as well. And I don't think I could have done that, obviously, if I hadn't spoken Spanish. It's very hard to live in a foreign country if you don't speak the language, and also you don't get the chance to be integrated into the culture and become sort of part of that country and meet people and really feel at home, I guess, in the country. And there's nothing more special than being able to feel at home in another country that's not your country. Um, that's an amazing feeling, a feeling sort of part of two different worlds, I guess, and really feeling like you deeply feel and understand that country's culture and people and language and food and everything. It just becomes a part of you. And then even now, back here in Australia, I still speak Spanish all the time. Apart from the Spanish Cat, we have another business, which is a Latin American restaurant in Melbourne. And our business partners there are from Colombia, so we speak Spanish all the time with them. And a lot of even our customers at the restaurant also come in because they love speaking Spanish, or they're
Yeah.
from Latin America, or our staff are from Latin America.
Yes.
So we've got this kind of created this great bridge, I guess, between Australia and Latin America over the last 15 years that we've been teaching Spanish and working with that community. So, Ileana, you're obviously not a Spanish student, but you're a Spanish teacher. Like, what are the things you most love about teaching Spanish?
I think as I'm hearing other people using my languages, for, uh, it makes me really, really happy. It's really humbling. But I love that feeling that I can provide sometimes to my students. A feeling of fulfillment is quite rewarding to hear them. They can communicate in another language. They still themselves, but what I love is just to see that they can look back and they can get to know each other better, like themselves, and they look back at English and said, why is this? And then they start reasoning and understanding what language is. And Spanish, in the end, is quite um, formulaic. Like it's really, 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 it's quite simple in a sense that if you get the rules, you can get of them like really quickly, and then after that is just practice. So it's not that challenging. It's not a hard language to learn, and you can get it really easily, and um, allows you to do so many things and to really enjoy it. So that's why I really like. I love the sound. I love to compare it with English, especially, and to see this massive difference. But in the end, from time to time comes a point, uh, the, a point of reference between them, and it is quite fun to do that and understanding the both cultures why we speak this way. Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I remember when I was learning Spanish, I did find it relatively easy, I guess. I tried to learn languages in high school and like French, I think, and maybe some Japanese, and it was really difficult and really frustrating. But Spanish follows the rules. So once you learn the rules, it's actually really easy to just apply those rules. And even it's a phonetic language, which means that once you learn how to pronounce each letter is pronounced exactly the same in every word. So unlike English, where the pronunciation is really random, you never know how a particular letter is going to be pronounced. In Spanish, it's pronounced exactly the same. So you just learn the pronunciation once of each letter, and you can just look at a Spanish word and immediately,
You get it.
how to pronounce it, which makes it.
It gives you a lot of confidence really quickly. So you really feel like it becomes your language quite easy, just because you can trust it. Like you know what is going to happen, and even irregularities or things that may seem a little bit hard, they also belong to to a group of rules that you can also memorize and be confident with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's actually probably one of the easiest languages to learn. And I also taught, while I was living in Mexico, I taught English for quite a while. And I just saw how hard it would be to learn English as a second language. There's so many, there's so many irregularities and so many things don't follow the rules. But compared to Spanish, where everything just follows the rules, it's really frustrating. So, yeah, definitely a great language to learn, and as Ileana said, not that hard either. So now we're just going to show you a couple of videos from a couple of our students, Julia and Sally, about why they love learning Spanish. So we'll just show you those right now.
Hola, I'm Julia. I've decided to learn Spanish because I love the language and I would like to travel in South America one day. As a traveler, I love creating meaningful connections in the place I visit, and being able to talk the language, I think, is one of the main things that unlocks a lot of opportunity in the country you're visiting. So speaking Spanish will allow me to feel at home and have a deep connection with people from so many countries, such as Spain, Chile, Argentina, Mexico, and so many others. Last but not least, I've decided to learn Spanish because, come on, it's so sexy, isn't it?
Hola, mi nombre es Sally y he estado aprendiendo español por 2 años. Y quería aprender el español por muchas razones. La primera es porque me encanta el idioma. Suena muy bonita. Para mí la lengua es como poesía. Usa muchas palabras muy románticas y con mucho sentido. La segunda es que el español es una lengua muy importante. Es el segundo idioma en el mundo y porque siempre estoy viajando como un mochilera, es muy útil para mí. La tercera razón es porque lo necesito para mi trabajo futuro. Soy estudiante de medicina y estoy muy interesada en salud pública del mundo, especialmente la salud de Latinoamérica. Pero al fin, la más importante razón que hablo español es porque me ayuda a hacer Estoy aquí, en la ciudad de Trinidad, en Cuba, y viajo sola por el país. Estoy quedándome en las casas locales, hablando en español y usando guías en la misma lengua. Para aprender esta lengua me da una experiencia muy diferente y con mucha riqueza. Y he aprendido mucho de esta gente. Aprendiendo español ha sido una de las cosas más difíciles, pero a la misma vez más satisfecha de mi vida. Bueno, me voy para bailar salsa.
There we go. I hope you enjoyed those videos. One of the most frequently asked questions that we get from potential students is, what is the difference between Spanish from Spain and Spanish from Latin America? You might have heard that there's a difference between the two and that they're different languages, but in reality, it's no different than the English from United States or the English from England or the English from Australia. I mean, we all speak English, we all understand each other. There's just various differences in accents. A few words might be a little bit different, pronunciation might be a bit different, but in the end,
it's still the same language.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. So during class, in the end, like we're gonna do the most that we can to let you know the differences, and then I think it comes more into a personal choice. What you feel more connection with, or where you're heading, and we will gladly give you the differences, like Tom was saying, in accent or some vocabulary. All of the team is formed by Latin Americans, but also Spanish. So just trust us that we're gonna let you know when the difference matter, if they are. But yeah, you will be all covered.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Hopefully you've got something out of today's presentation, and hopefully we'll see you in one of our Spanish classes really soon.
Thank you so much.